जय हिंद, जय भारत एंड वेलकम टू डेफ टॉक्स। दिस इज आदि अचिंत। आइए समझें जियोपॉलिटिक्स को एक भारतीय नजरिए से।
So India has a mindset where it hits, it punches below its weight. We have to punch not above our weight. We have to punch not below our weight. We have to increase our weight and punch the post.
ये हमारा सिद्धांत है, हम घर में घुस के मारेंगे।
You know, victims of terrorism do not sit together with perpetrators of terrorism to discuss terrorism.
नमस्कार, जय हिंद, जय भारत एंड shalom from to Gabriel from Israel. नमस्कार जी, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर कमिंग इन। बड़ा दिन है आज तो। आप लोग मिसाइल अटैक भी हो रहा है यार, क्या बात है? व्हाट्स हैपनिंग?
First of all, shalom, namaskar to all audience around the world. And as you showed in your intro, Ajit Doval. So I want to give him a shout out because people who are following me on your channel, every time I say Indians take a lesson from us. So yesterday I came to know that Mr. Ajit Doval, NSA of India, was at a BSF event and he spoke about the lessons of this conflict, the pros and the cons. And he pointed out that the missile defense which we had against Iranian attack, how it worked, technology came into the equation and it turned the tide, and how border security also did not work because we were not prepared for the attack on 7th of October. So a huge shout out to Ajit Doval for taking lessons from a conflict. And if there is an Indian who knows the Jewish and Israeli DNA, this person knows us.
He's
And
been there
I've been
3
following
times,
him before for a long time.
3 बार ही आ चुका है इजराइल, पता है आपको? आफ्टर द वॉर।
Yeah, I know him, and he's come out secretly also. As Prime Minister Modi also pointed out, he was the envoy. He didn't send him just like that because, as I pointed out, Ajit Doval knows the pulse of Israel and Jews. He has given lessons. He has given lectures, citing out the Jewish struggle and how to take lessons from our struggle. So Ajit Doval, I am a huge fan of him.
So let's start यार। सबसे पहले मुझे ये बताओ, नेतन्याहू गेटिंग अरेस्टेड, दिस इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग एंड वो सब थोड़ा बाद में बात करते हैं, बट आई वांट टू आस्क यू, इन इजराइल, यू नो, पीपल ऑन द स्ट्रीट, व्हाट डू दे थिंक अबाउट इन अ केस? एक भाई आईसीजे में एक ऐसा केस डाल रहे हो जहां पर हमास के लीडर को एंड योर प्राइम मिनिस्टर इज पुट ऑन द सेम चार्ज शीट। व्हाट इज द फीलिंग ऑफ पीपल ऑफ इजराइल? व्हाट डू दे से अबाउट दिस?
The feeling was, just as they decided that we are going to this criminal case justice, people said we know what is going to be the outcome. We were ready for it. We have experience and we knew Israel will be blamed. There will be sanctions and criminal warrants on top figures in Israel. So we say, okay, it's the same, but we have to carry on. Our main aim is not to show the world how good we are or how we are going to change ourselves as the world wants us. We will fight. We will accomplish our aims. It will take time, but we don't care a damn of these people in black robes. You know why, Adi? Being a member of Israeli security special forces, I will tell you one thing. People in black robes are more dangerous than people with black suits. Black robes, even those who think that morality, it raises itself from you know where the sun doesn't shine, and they have the upper they have morality with them. They will show Israel when we are right, when we are wrong. So even the mullahs in Iran with black robes, we find them more dangerous. वो सेम है, ये चलता रहेगा, ये दुनिया का असूल है. We Israelis are used to it. The UN has the most sanctioned nation on earth, combined all other nations, is Israel. So we know the outcome. वो हमारा जज है ना उधर बैठेला, वो खुद हमारे अगेंस्ट है.
हमारा वाला भी, हमारा से जो भी गया है, बट यू नो दे हैव नो कंट्रोल फ्रॉम द कंट्री एंड दे आर इंडिपेंडेंट जजेस. उनका अपना ओपिनियन होता है वो. सो आर
No,
गाय इज आल्सो देयर. वो
I will
क्या नाम है
differ on
उसका, मैं
it.
भूल गया.
They are not
नहीं
independent. Adi, sir, क्या
नहीं नहीं नहीं, यार ये ना वो वहां पर जब देखो, जब ये वहां पर जाते हैं ना, तो उनका ऐसा टाइटनिंग किया जाता है कि if they want to
हाँ.
sustain in that ecosystem, they have to behave like that. One must understand. This is how it works.
See how it works. Today they will ask Israel to not invade Rafah.
Hmm.
Tomorrow, and always I say how Indians can take a lesson. Tomorrow they can come and say on Kashmir, we have a decision. वो बात अलग है. तू क्या करना है जो कर ले, उखाड़ने है उखाड़ ले. Okay? But they will have the audacity, they will think that they have the right to tell other nations what to do. It begins with always with the Jews, with Israel, and then it will start coming out. जिसकी मेजोरिटी, जिसके हाथ में डंडा, उसकी भैंस. So we don't care a damn about ICJ or ICC. BB has said we will go on. The public here on the ground, we just, those leftists who are there, they say, okay, yeah, we have to take into consideration the world is looking at us. We have to give an example. 80 to 85, 90% also. People say we don't care a damn. It's the same.
Once you into it, there's, अब मेरे को समझ नहीं आता. अभी तो घुस गए हो अंदर, आधा काम खत्म करके वापस आओगे तो क्या फायदा. एंड यू नो आई थिंक जो आज अटैक हुआ है तेल अवीव में, एंड यू गेव मी द मैसेज एंड आई स्टार्टेड
Yeah.
लुकिंग एट इट. आपने बोला कि राफा से आया है वो अटैक.
Yes. So
तो
now,
इसका मतलब हमास इज नॉट डेड टिल नाउ.
see, there are always telltale signs which you have to learn about your opponent, your enemy. So anytime we had a fight with Hamas or Hezbollah, always they had the last word to say. Like the last missile came from them towards Israel. Always. So now, why suddenly? Because we are closing the noose on Rafah. They know in a day, a week, or another 2 weeks, we will be with our feet on their throats. So they have to spend what they have before we capture
रीच
these.
देयर.
Yes. So they are doing this. See, this goes to show they also have to show that they are alive, and we know they are alive. It was not a surprise. And if I'll tell you about Israeli public, we in the south, people in the south, we say, okay, there's a silver lining here also, because suddenly Tel Aviv, after a few months of relative peace, came under fire. That means, guys, don't think that only the south and the north are getting rockets. Even those guys, the leftists who are based in Tel Aviv, also are within range. So we take it with a pinch of salt. कुछ नुकसान नहीं हुआ. 12 रॉकेट्स, 12 रॉकेट दाग दिए, सबको उड़ाया, एक इधर उधर गिरा बाहर. और वो भी दैट आयरन डोम नोज किसको मारना है और किसको गिराने का है, गिरने देना है. बिकॉज वी डोंट वांट टू स्पेंड मिसाइल ऑन such rockets. We are going to explode in a empty space.
Yeah, that is there. That is there. I mean, that kind of makes sense. But you know, the funny thing is that they still have that capacity still now, and that means the tunnel infrastructure जो हम लोग बाद में बात करेंगे इसके बारे में, but let's just finish the politics and then go into that part of it. वो अभी भी एग्जिस्ट करता है. बट बिफोर दैट मेरे को ये बताओ, व्हाट इज द गेम विद राइसी नाउ. आई एम नॉट सेइंग इजराइल डिड इट, ठीक है. देयर इज समथिंग रियली क्यूरियस अबाउट व्हाट हैपेंड टू हिम. मैंने इसके ऊपर पूरा शो करा है वेयर वी डिस्कस्ड. देयर टू थ्री थिंग्स व्हिच आई फाइंड अ लिटिल फनी पर्सनली, कि भाई ये तीन चार लोग एक ही हेलीकॉप्टर में तुम जा रहे हो. दूसरा थिंग, लॉजिकली स्पीकिंग, अगर यार तुम्हारा यू फ्लाइंग ओवर अ माउंटेन रेंज एंड तुम्हारा हाईएस्ट माउंटेन इज 8,000 फीट, बेसिक क्लियरेंस 1500 2000 फीट तो रखोगे यार. फ्रॉम दैट, इवन इफ you're फ्लाइंग, यू डोंट नो क्या है, बट यू कीप अ ट्रैक ऑफ योर ऑल्टीट्यूड एंड मेक श्योर दैट you're above it. तो ये जाके अगर धुप करके, इवन इफ इट्स अ प्लेन एंड सिंपल एक्सीडेंट, ही इज गॉन इन एंड मार मूर के खत्म हो गया वो, दैट इज स्टूपिडिटी. थर्ड, व्हाई आर यू फ्लाइंग इनटू वेदर? यार तुमको दिख रहा है सामने से आ रहा है, बड़ी गो अवे, डाइवर्ट, इतना क्या है? So there were three, four, five things which were very, very funny. But what is the feeling in Israel on President Raisi?
So we cannot confirm or we cannot contradict that Israel was involved. But here comes the but. How we used to view Raisi. Raisi was the guy who was the one who used to coordinate between all these factions, Houthis, the Hezbollah in Lebanon, in Iraq,
Hamas,
and the Hamas leadership.
Badr,
They used to, like they say, they used to do the pilgrimage to Raisi, and through that general who we,
Soleimani.
yes, in Syria, who we took off. These were the guys who were coordinating against Israel. Now there's a Game of Thrones in Iran also. Raisi was the successor on page for
Supposedly.
Khamenei.
Hmm.
Khamenei himself was a very great figure without charisma, and he rose when Rafsanjani was going to be the supreme leader.
Hmm.
But Rafsanjani gave in. He thought it's going to be a temporary posting of the supreme leader unless votes will be counted, and the rest is history. So in Israel we say ये डर अच्छा लगा. How Indians say ये डर हमें अच्छा लगा. So okay.
But the funny thing is, on ground, fair enough. If I look at it from Israeli perspective, कि हाँ यार चलो एक तो one headache is gone. Fair enough, ठीक है. But on ground, does it make a difference? हो गया.
No,
Because उनका
no.
infrastructure तो पूरा ही है अभी भी.
See, on politically, we would have preferred Khomeini would have been the one in the helicopter. Okay, but be careful what you wish for, as they say, because before we brought down the one before Nasrallah, Nasrallah was a big head. It was a big headache than that guy. So okay, we would have preferred Khamenei to have been in that chopper. But as a one who has been in helicopters and we have flown to places, I can tell you 3 helicopters are going together. Okay, they are in constant communication with each other. They may be flying a bit apart, but there is always communication with the pilots in within themselves. And if one pilot feels mayday, the other 2 pilots will try to be around that place, or they will say where that place is, the longitude, the latitudes where at last it was seen. It took them so many hours to get to that place. What happened? What didn't happen? There were wolves. There were so many wildlife there. So in an operational this, I can tell you capacity. These pilots are all the time in communication with each other.
Hmm.
So one goes down, at least one will try to fly. Okay, the weather is not that great, but the pinpoint where was the last communication, where they saw that plane. One will be in front, one will be in the back. That is something else. That is the protocol. So somebody wanted this guy to be finished off.
Looks like
They
that.
took care that before the news comes on the streets, the Basij, which are the internal security apparatus of the Iranian guards, revolutionary guards, they were in place. Everything was taken, and you will see I don't know what is happening inside Iran, but I will not be surprised if
Hmm.
Khamenei's son will rise
Yeah,
a
yeah,
few levels above
yeah.
his
He's got
present
the keys to
position.
the money, na. He's got the keys to the complete money which is there. He's the what's his name? Much Gaba. Wait, I just check this. It's a funny name. Uh, and he's his second son, huh? By the way, he's not Mojaba.
See,
Yeah, Mojaba. He's his second son.
Adi,
He's not the first son.
in all dictatorships, always the king, the dictator, wants his own son to replace him.
Yeah, yeah.
This happened with the king of Jordan. All the while, when his brother was in the successor to the throne, suddenly on his deathbed, he changed it and he made his son the king. The same thing is happening here. Khomeini wanted his son, and Raisi was too much of a hardliner also.
Hmm. Hmm.
Somebody wanted him out of the equation.
They got it.
This is the own Game of Thrones of Iran.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
down the line in the war against you, as far as जो भी है, उसमें कोई इतना फर्क मेरे को दिखा नहीं है, and I don't think there will be any difference.
Israel will always prefer that the regime will fall. The whole
Hmm.
regime, the whole
Hmm.
apparatus of the Revolutionary Guards and the leadership will fall. Now, this can happen with outside intervention like Israel, because when they were waiting for Israel's response to the Iranian attack, the ones who were calling out the most to Israel to attack were the Iranian people,
Yep.
especially abroad, those who are enemies of the regime. They were calling for Israel to strike to bring down this evil regime. Second, and this is the best thing, Iran is a very young nation, many youngsters. And these youngsters, they have the internet. They know what is going around the world. They want freedom. And these guys, the women there, you had the revolution of the women there against the hijab. So if change can come from down, but for that you need world leadership. Like how the chance was wasted by Obama and Hillary Clinton during the Green Revolution in Iran. That was a fruit ripe for the picking, and Obama betrayed. So I think we have to wait for Trump, and then we can
बात
say
correct
something
है.
can change on
Yeah,
ground.
yeah, yeah. But lastly, I want to ask before we come into the tunnel warfare, is that one thing that we are realizing is that this deal which Saudi and all that they're doing right now, and if you see Saudi crown prince is traveling to Iran, he's going there, and I think this is going forward क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं I think the Arabs are now getting sick of this whole thing कि यार बंद करो ड्रामा बहुत हो गया enough stop it. Let's just cut this nonsense because we need to calm down. Otherwise, हमारा धंधा नहीं चलेगा भाई यहाँ पर. And if Saudi is initiating something like this, I don't think any Arab nation will, including Iran, that is, will kind of go too far ahead because Iranians are not known for face-to-face contact. They will try and do either other, you know.
Through the
And Saudis
proxies.
are not going to tolerate it because now that Saudis have the American cover, the Iranians won't try it. तो ये बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग सा एक लूप बन रहा है इधर पे which is what I think will lay out the game forward. तो कहीं ना कहीं टाइमिंग भी वही है. यू गाइस विल टेक अबाउट 2-3 weeks a month to finish up. उसके बाद it will be basically targeted. ये वो you guys would have gone through every square inch in Gaza on top at least. After that will be targeted strikes. वो चलता रहेगा. Why that I think will continue for the next 6 months, 7 months even. But more or less the war, as in the hardcore war, will kind of calm down. Don't you think so?
See, in the Middle East and everywhere around the world, you have to see what others do, and then what they speak, what they want, what they say on the street. Saudis, if you remember the attack by Iranians, What they did? Okay, Jordanians, what they did? The Jordanian king and queen were so anti-Israelis. Israelis used to say, "What these guys are doing? They are dependent on Israeli intelligence, and all the population is Palestinian." But when push
Pandering to
came
the
to
media.
shove, push came to shove,
They stood by.
when Iranians had launched the missiles against Israel, who were the ones who got in between? Israel की बैक किसने देखी, किसने रखी? So we don't. Iran, Saudis will have their own interests. They will go to Iran because Iran also is an enemy to reckon with. They have done damage to Saudi Arabia in the past. They have hit Saudi through proxies, but they have it. So they need to show. But when action comes, they have proved themselves. So we in Israel, we see एंथोनी ब्लिंकन हमको एक झांसा देने को जा रहा है. Make peace with the Saudis and give the Palestinian state in return. But every Israeli who has a brain in between his ears knows that a two-state solution or a Palestinian state in any capacity is an existential threat to Israel. If 7th of October has taught us something, and as I've once told you, ये लातों के भूत बातों से नहीं मानते. Palestinians, only when they are hit and hit hard, इनको अकल आती है. वो भी
And
टाइम लगेगा, फिर से जाएगी. They
उसके
are the worst version of Pakistan.
उसके ऊपर मसाला भी तो है ना. क्या मसाला है? पैलेस्टीनियंस को
Pakistan.
ट्रेन कौन कर रहा है पैलेस्टीनियन ट्रूप्स को?
I sent you that this article.
नो, दिस इज वेल नोन यार. दिस इज वेल
No, the
नोन.
Palestinians look upon the Pakistani army as one who will stand beside them when they want to liberate Jerusalem.
I
So
don't think it'll be that far, but I think they अभी ट्रेनिंग तो चल रही है. They are training, and that has been going on for about 30 years. They've been training some amount of Palestinian troops for almost 30 years. They've trained Hamas guys also. Uh, तो ये तो अच्छा है, but going forward, it's going to be very difficult to sustain something like this. And ये I wonder what the final game would be. वो तो किसी को पता नहीं है अभी. That's all behind the wraps. We can only speculate. But it's going to be very difficult. Let's come to the tunnels. अब आप बताओ यार, how are you guys fighting in the tunnels? These damn tunnels seem to be, some of them are 50, 60 meters deep. Yeah. I mean, heights 10 meters wide, 50 meters deep. You can drive a bloody tank through it. Yeah. I mean, I've seen those heavy vehicles going through. Yeah, what is happening? I mean, so what's the game there?
see, the Israeli public here is frustrated with the war also. Like any other public at war, they will. We are a society now. We are a world which wants everything instant, instant food, instant victory. But it's not like this in the real world. We have lost till now 635 soldiers. God forbid India can multiply this by 10. This is the number
Population,
of
yeah.
soldiers lost.
Population, yeah, absolutely.
Population wise, it's a huge blow to our nation.
Yeah.
Each one in Israel knows another one who has lost someone or who has been kidnapped, hostage. So then comes, we are all, most Israelis, we have been in the army, we have been in special forces, we have done things which are not even, will never be known to other people. So one thing when we think about our frustrations is what is happening with not Gaza above, as you said, what is happening with Gaza under, which is known, that area is known as Gaza Metro. It is like the New York subway. It's about between 300 to 400 kilometers of tunnels, elaborated tunnels, which are like spider webs underneath. As you said, just for proportion's sake, we can say 20 to 22 meters is an 8-story building. Just imagine 50 meters. So we have a unit in the engineering corps which are known as Yalom. Yalom in English is diamond. These guys are the best of the best. And 1 minute. These guys are the very best. So when you speak tunnels, it is not a piece of cake for anyone. 95% of our audience will never volunteer to enter a tunnel willingly. And the other 3 to 4%, when they reach the tunnel's entrance, will say, "Idhar tak kafi hai." So I will give you a scenario. Terrorists came upon our soldiers, fired towards them, and ran into a kindergarten which is run by UNRWA. So our soldiers entered that place, the kindergarten, and there is a small shed in the corner of the compound which is used by the logistics guy of that kindergarten, cleaning, maintenance. So they enter the shed. There is a rug on the ground. So one of the officers there said, "Let's remove this rug and see what's underneath it." Suddenly there's a shaft. So a tunnel is like a big log of tree. That log is there and then it branches out. And each and every branch comes out in another area, sometimes 80 meters, sometimes 20 meters. And tunnels, as I said, have different purposes. There are offensive tunnels. Offensive tunnels are built while in their territory from Gaza, they come inside Israel proper. These were eliminated when we built the wall in between Israel and Gaza. Second are defensive tunnels, which are used for defense by warriors of Hamas who can be there in between 2 months, 2 weeks to 2 months in that tunnel. They can live. They have all the supplies there, ammunition, everything. Then there are tunnels used for smuggling. You can find these tunnels mostly on the Rafah border with Egypt. We have found at least 50 plus tunnels in the last 3 weeks when we have entered Rafah. And that also we have not entered Rafah proper. We are on the outskirts. Just to tell the audience, there was a population of 1.2 million refugees there. We have succeeded in moving 800,000 to 1 million to Mubasi, which is in the northwest of Rafah. So we have, in the meanwhile, moved the population from Rafah. It's going to be a big headache for us, but we will enter. There are lots of tunnels in Rafah. And then there are tunnels which are used for command and control. They have their own electronics there. They have their own communication centers there, electricity, water, sanitation. So when the soldier remove the rug, the first thing you come upon is a depth of between 20 to 50 meters. So you just imagine yourself, you are standing on top of an entrance to a tunnel which goes down, which has a ladder at best or a rope. So now when you go down by rope, it is not like when you see in the movies, the helicopters, what you call that, fast roping. from helicopters. Here, we have to go slowly. And the advantage is with the enemy because inside they are waiting for you. You don't know what is there, what is inside. So the first thing you encounter is the depth. Second is the darkness. If there is light, you're lucky, but most of the time there's no light. It's dark, pitch dark. You're entering a different world altogether. When you go inside, you don't know at which depth you have gone inside. If there is another level. So, as I said, guys who go inside these tunnels have to be mentally, physically, but mentally very stable, and they have to have nerves of steel because when they enter, they are entering a place where the enemy is ready for them. It is a very slow process. It takes time. It takes, from error, trial and error, we learn. Blood has been spent to learn these tactics, which I will not reveal. The most of the tactics which we use to flush out these tunnels, to how they say, clean them, sanitize them, and dispose them off at the end. So when this old soldier enters that depth, he doesn't know he has to go right or left. He'll be carrying a weapon, which will not be a large weapon, side pistol, an M4, flashlight, and let's keep it at that. I will not tell you how other technological toys we have. But before that, we will send in robots. Small toy like robots with flashlights and sensors. They will enter. Drones, small drones will enter. They will take the snaps, the film, what is inside, and then we use canines, dogs. There are two types of dogs for this tunnel clearance. There is the attack dog and there is a sniffer dog. Attack dog goes in. One of the first encounters we had with terrorists in a tunnel was with a canine. Mostly it's a Belgian Alsatian from Belgium. The price has risen a lot because Israeli army did a lot of publicity for this type of dogs, this breed, Belgium Alsatian. These dogs go in, and that dog attacked two terrorists inside the tunnel. It had a camera on its back, the dog, and he attacked those terrorists, and they were neutralized by the soldiers after that. So, first goes in the robot, drones, dogs, and then it's you on your own in that environment. First thing which hits you is the heat, the dampness. The air is very damp because it has not been circular. There's no circulation of air there inside. So when you enter this tunnel, you don't know what is around the turn. As I say, there is danger at each turn. Literally, there's the danger at each turn. And you don't know if they are waiting on the other side with guns pointed towards you. There is no communication. Okay, underneath at that depth, with all this earth around you, communication is very difficult.
Yeah, obviously.
So 1 to 2 guys enter inside. We enter inside this tunnel. Okay, and then the canines are there, which have all the time they are with these soldiers. They are like the second, that like a brothers. These soldiers are like brothers. They take care of these dogs. So we don't send them to just blow themselves up. We will die even to save a dog. So that dog goes inside. If there is a danger or someone lurking in the dark, he will first give you the give you the alert that there's something. So the soldier knows that something is lurking in the dark. Second, if he has to attack, he will attack the terrorist. So when you enter these these areas, you know you're one on one at the best. Okay, there you have no tanks, you have no artillery,
Yeah, you got nothing.
you have nothing. You're on your own. In the front, there is a at at any time you never say there's no one. There is always someone pointing a gun towards you. What happens when the gun goes off in an enclosed area? Sound is magnified. If you don't have if you don't have any precautions, you can go deaf. So you have to fight it loud with all these precautions. These guys who fight these in tunnels, they have a lot of experience. But Hamas also has a lot of experience of booby trapping these areas, and they know how we work too. For a lot of time, people were saying, how why let soldiers enter these tunnels? It is a very good question. Why should soldiers enter these tunnels? Send in gas, explode them. But I want to tell the viewers that 2 Fridays ago and this last Friday, our soldiers they retrieved 7 bodies of hostages killed on the 7th of October. And in Israel, it's a big deal to bring even a dead civilian or a soldier to burial. Soldiers have lost their lives to bring back bodies. So our soldiers went in. One of the officers was killed, but we brought back 7 bodies in within 7 days for the families to have a closure, to know what happened, because most of the families didn't even know these guys were alive or they were dead. So in Israel, it's like a contract you have with each another. Tomorrow, anything happens to you, I will put my life on the line. If anything happens to me, you will put your life on your line for me. And these soldiers who fight in these tunnels, as they say, a battle for a soldier never ends on the battlefield. He comes back with memories. He comes back with the stress, the things which he has seen and done. I know people, I know guys, you know, wonderful guys like you and me, but they had been in these forces. One guy gave a British tourist, a hitchhike, and suddenly he snapped. He took out his pistol. He gave her a bullet in her head. Suddenly, this was all because of stress. My friend, he wrote a book about special forces. He says that one night he woke up and he was strangling his wife in bed. Why? Stress. So it is a very slow process, Adi. It is a very dangerous process. This will be learned by forces around the world. How Israel fought this war with tunnels, with booby traps. They found places in these tunnels with cages. You know why cages? They were ready to hold hostages in there. They buried the bodies which they have taken on 7th of October in these tunnels. So tomorrow we destroy these tunnels. We don't know if a hostage has been killed at worst or a body of a hostage is there in the rubble. So it's a very slow and meticulous process for the forces to fight underneath Gaza. On the top, as they say, why we need 2,000-pound bombs? Because guys, when you drop a bomb 50 meters underneath, it कुछ हिलता नहीं है, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. You have to have a big bomb. And when you see those videos, which everything explodes, I will not tell you which explosives are used, but the whole structure of the tunnel collapses. And with all which is on the top, schools, mosques, kindergartens, youth centers, hospitals on top of these tunnels. And then the world is calling Israel genocide. जो उखाड़ना है उखाड़ो. Israel, we will never let our government to stop from finishing off Hamas. We know it's an ideology. Tomorrow it will take another name. But people who think that tomorrow these people will be more radicalized because what Israel is taking actions today don't know what is happening on the ground. When a Palestinian is born from his mother's womb, he comes out hating the Jews because now and before that also, it has long ago has been a religious war. It is between the Jews and the Muslims, the Arabs. When a terrorist comes to stab me or kill me, I have heard him say, "Idbah al-Yahud," kill the Jews. Sartan se juda in India, here they say kill the Jews, and he raises his knife or he pulls out his pistol towards us. This has long been a religious war. It is slow. We too are frustrated. It will take time. We have 125 hostages still there, dead or alive. Because, as I told you, last week we brought back 7 bodies.
Yeah.
This ideology even bargains on body parts, Jewish body parts, not only soldiers, Jewish body parts. They want they want their pound of flesh, as they say, for each and every body part or soldier which they will return. So 7 we have brought back. That means 7 uh, chips. Sorry, it's this is what we are living here in the Middle East. We bargain on body parts. So we will die, we will fight, but we will never give up. See, Adi, as you said about the Iranian prime minister, president, Israel has a philosophy. We will take revenge, but the first target for Israel will always be the one who is planning to hit it. The most of our resources will go to take out someone who's planning an attack against us instead of taking revenge after attack has taken place. We will take the revenge. Time will come. But the resources, the first priority is to take out someone. If tomorrow Israel has a hand or finger, like we took out the general in Syria, he was planning attacks against Israel. That's why we had to take him off. Revenge will be served cold. But first of all, Israel raises hands before anything to prevent an attack on its people, on its land, anywhere around the world. You know, there was a plan in Berlin to bomb the embassy there by Hamas. The intelligence was shared by the Israelis with the German counterparts, and they foiled an attack on the embassy there. It is one of the most guarded embassies in the world in Germany.
That's true. You know, let's get into some questions. I think this is a very tough this thing. It's a very crazy sort of a mindset which actually gets people to do stuff like this, which is something that we've आई थिंक इंडिया में तो हमको एग्जाम्पल देने का उसको ज़रूरत नहीं है, बिकॉज़ यहाँ पर बाय द वे लास्ट वीक हमने कितने 4 श्रीलंकन्स हू वर आइसिस, Rameshwaram blast ISIS, 3 chaps more, and 4 people in Ahmedabad again ISIS. So we know what's happening inside. Thank God for our NIA, this silent organization that keeps working in the shadows. किसी को कुछ पता नहीं है वो क्या करती है, but they keep picking up these guys and they keep us safe. So हम तो, I mean, I've said this multiple times. I'm one of the biggest fans of the NIA in India because एक blast होता है, पहले बोलते थे 150 नहीं होते. Now I'm saying at least 1,000 are not happening because, you know,
But they need only one to succeed, Adi.
yeah,
These
yeah, yeah,
these SOBs.
yeah. So guys, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you've not done that, and please share these videos with your friends and families. People who want to know what's happening in Israel. A lot of us in India are very interested, and most importantly, guys, if please you guys know that volume down here, so please don't forget to write a comment after the show finishes. Write whatever you feel like. What do you feel about this thing? Or a simple just Jai Hind would do. All the best to Israel, Jai Hind, anything works, please write the comment. You can contribute towards this channel using the QR code or the PayPal link in the description, which is direct contributions, या फिर super stickers, super chats, and members as well. Let's see what you guys have to say. सबसे पहले रितेश जी, thank you so much for becoming a member. Arpal, thank you so much. Why Noor Gilon plays tribute to Himayu and Sassans.
Our Gilon?
Your ambassador to India. He went on Passover time. He went to the tomb of Himayu. I don't know if you would know. He was a Mughal. They call him
I know,
emperor. I call
Humayun I
him
know, but
Babar.
I didn't know that Israeli ambassador had been there.
Mm. That's the ecosystem, brother. Come on. इतना तो समझा करो यार. जानम समझा करो. That's how it works. कोई बात नहीं. RK69, thank you so much for your contribution. He says, thank you, Gabriel, for giving us periodic updates. Post 4th June, we can expect Modi Doval on overdrive. Adi, what is your take? Yeah, I think they are on overdrive even now. ठीक है. आज दोपहर का please have a look at the show with what's his name,
Abhijit.
Abhijit Chavda, where I asked him this question: Why has Modi and Jaishankar challenged the deep state? Literally, I mean, खुले में challenge करा है इनको कि भाई really let's wait. मोदी जी ने तो इतना तक बोल दिया कि साहब 4 जून के बाद देखते हैं. So it's going to be interesting for people like me. Godspeed. Thank you so much. We have a refugee problem here. They're all coming here. Please do something. Lol. You're from Canada. Yeah, I have my sympathies with you, brother. But
Europe has
you know,
fallen.
yeah, you could say that vote out Trudeau, but in Canada's case, who do you bring in? The other guy is the same.
I don't know if
So
it's late also for Canada now.
I don't know. Sorry, man. I mean, but Palji, thank you so much. Right wing Jews displays moves from Israel. Left wing Jews open western borders for refugees. Perfect synergy. A truly open minded common Jew returns into collateral. Yeah, well, right wing, left wing. I think it's your dialogue that I've really appreciated, and I mentioned this multiple times. And I'll openly give you credit for it. You had said there's nothing worse than a left wing Jew. So I,
Watch
I
the
I don't.
video, last video which we made together. As I pointed out, these are the worst kind. George
Yeah,
Soros.
yeah. Maulana Hafazuddin Al Pitroda. My God, where do you guys come up with these names? Thank you so much. Sangis United. Wow, that's a good logo,
कसे
yeah,
आहात?
I must say.
इंडियाला कधी येणार? इंडियाला मी येतो. पहिले बी आलेला आहे. मुंबईला, दिल्लीला. आपलं तर हाय काम चालू असतं. अपना काम चालू है इंडिया में. आते रहेंगे,
आते
मिलते
रहेंगे.
रहेंगे.
Yeah. And अक्षय आयर जी, थैंक यू सो मच। हमाम मिसल का मिसाल बना दिया, वाट लवाउंता का।
ये साले हमेशा रोते हैं ये लोग विक्टिम कार्ड
Yeah.
जो इंडियंस दैट इज व्हाट आई लाइक अबाउट इंडियन पीपल. You know, the Indian psychic, the Indian people know what is going on with Israel, the Jews. That is why I like to love to come on a channel and speak to the Indian audience because they know what is happening with Israel, the Jews. Europeans have anti-Semitism, everything, they are biased, but the Indian people, you know, you have to respect them. They know to differentiate between right and left, right and wrong, sorry.
Arpalji, once again, thank you so much. Israel was created to police the Middle East for weapons trade, to control Suez Canal oil reserves. Rothschild planned centuries in advance.
Arpal, you have asked this question last time also, two or three
Hmm.
videos back. Israel was created for the Jewish people. That's it. और वो भी हम लोग को अभी BDS की तरफ they want to sanction us. What is happening in ICJ is the same thing. They want to bring
Yes.
Israel sanctions in the end. That will be the end process.
Yep. Frustrated commoner, thank you so much. What is the role and expectations on Russia in restoring Israeli state? Countries in alliance with Germany against Jews are destined to be doomed.
See, Germany is on our side at the meantime. They are
Even
like
Russia, honestly, I mean, apart from the public perception, but Russia is on your side.
Russia needs Iran because Iran is backing them with weapons in the
Yeah, yeah,
Ukrainian
that is
war
there.
with drones. So this
But
is all politics.
you
This
guys
is
have a
all
lot of
politics.
funny
This is all a
backhanding with
game.
Russia, man. You guys, I mean, the Syrian war was a clear example on how Israel and Russia coordinates, huh? Israeli fighters and Russian fighters would be in the same 100-kilometer radius, and they both would know where not to go, where to go, everything. So the coordination was pretty good. Somewhere down the line, Ukraine में थोड़ा सा चक्कर हुआ था, but I think that can
You
be
know what?
restored.
There was an interest of Russians also. You know why?
Yeah.
Because if Israel would have taken down the S-300 there, it would have been a shame for them. So they also played ball with us.
I
इतना भी नादान नहीं है रशिया. हमको भी पता है ये नादान ही नहीं है. सबका
वो बड़ा
इंटरेस्ट है.
चंट है वो, मस्त है वो. G Shankar ji, thank you so much for becoming a member. Soham, thank you so much. Says Gabriel sir, was the red heifers ritual done during Passover? Why were Hum so scared of it? Hamas so scared of it, or Hum so scared of it? Is it real or conspiracy? Why coexistence so difficult?
Soham, this is the propaganda against Israel because they say when the third temple will be built in Jerusalem, we have to sacrifice a red heifer. That is a small calf of red cattle.
Hmm.
Okay, so this is all bullshit. I am a Jew. When time will come, time will come. When God, the Almighty, decides, we are fighting for our survival. We would have preferred to sacrifice that if I've not take that 7th of October. So don't go in for this propaganda of these jihadis that Israel is sacrificing. This was spoken on Pakistani television by that
Really?
guy, that
Really?
former senator.
I read about this on online, and I was like, you know, when I read stuff like this, my brain automatically switches off. मेरे को ये register नहीं होता. Now when you started talking about it, मेरे को recollect हुआ, but I normally don't pay attention to this kind of nonsense because
पाकिस्तान में ये उछाल उछाल के कर रहे हैं वो लोग.
यार पाकिस्तान में आज वो सरगोदा में क्रिश्चियन के साथ क्या किया उन्होंने?
हाँ,
Which century are they living in यार?
blasphemy.
Which century are they living in? I mean,
And
is
we are
this a
and
country?
we are in court for genocide. See what's happening with the minorities
Is
in Pakistan,
is
the
this a
Hindus.
country? हाँ, यार हिंदूज तो भाई वी आर डूम टू हेल. ठीक है, हम तो हैं ही खराब. ठीक है, तुम अब्राहमिक्स हो, योर अब्राहमिक
अरे
रिलीजन ना
हमारा
बोथ.
नाम खराब करते हैं. Abraham was a Jew. And I want to
या
tell the Indian audience,
वो
guys, Abrahamic
यार
religions is not this Islam and Islam and Christianity. They take Abraham's name as a prophet, but he was also not a Jew, but he was the father of the Jewish religion. Okay,
आई एम टॉकिंग
सो
अबाउट द आप
काम खराब कर
स्पेसिफिक में
रहे हैं।
जा रहे हो। मैं स्पेसिफिक में नहीं जा रहा। यहूद और हनूद इज
हाँ, वो तो
डूम टू
है, वी
हेल,
आर इन द
वो
सेम
छोड़ दो।
शिप।
हाँ, तो वो तो छोड़ दो, हम तो साइडी लोग हैं, खराब है, कीड़ा मकोड़ा टाइप लोग हैं, छोड़ दो। बट बाकी तो तुम बड़े हो, आपस में क्यों लड़ रहे हो भाई? सी द पॉइंट इज, वी आर वी गोना टेक logic from a country that stones human being in the middle of the street because he might have said something? यार, माफ करो भाई, बंदे की जान मत लो यार। दिस इज नॉट फेयर, एंड दिस आई से फॉर द सेम नॉनसेंस दैट हैपेंस इन सम ऑफ आवर गुरुद्वारास आल्सो।
यस।
ओ सैक्रिलेज कर दिया तो उसको मार दिया। सॉरी बॉस, ये मारने धारने की चीजें ठीक नहीं होती। यू कॉल द कॉप्स, ऑल्दो आवर जुडिशियल सिस्टम इज टेरिबल, which is the case literally all over the world, बट यू कांट टेक द लॉ इन योर हैंड। ये चीजें ठीक नहीं है। एंड ऊपर से पाकिस्तान में तो वन स्टेप अहेड, उसका घर जला दिया, उसकी दुकान जला दी। व्हाट इज दिस नॉनसेंस?
और हमको लेके आ रहे हैं कोर्ट में, वर्ल्ड कोर्ट।
Saravani, Tumuluri, thank you so much. In olden India, it's always implemented to protect women and children to save race. It burns my heart to see Israeli kids and women getting killed. Yeah.
Thank you, Sarvani. That's why I've come on this channel to thank my Indian brothers and sisters for the support. Thank you.
Arpal, once again, thank you so much. Indian soldiers liberating the land of Israel in Ottoman territory during World War One, not two, couldn't have happened without the collaboration between the Jewish and the Muslim elite. Sure, yeah, nothing wrong with that.
It is a fact that Indian
Factual.
soldiers had liberated Haifa.
Haifa
It's a
Port.
fact.
Santosh ji, thank you so much. Says Shalom, Gabriel Bhai. Hindus stand in solidarity with Jews. Hindus remember Johar 710 2611. Why you people have gone slow? Bring them home.
This is what is happening, guys.
तो भाई, अभी आपको थोड़ा गुस्सा आना शुरू हो जाएगा इंडिया से। यार तुम लोग ठीक से कर नहीं रहे यार, जल्दी लेके आओ। बहुत हो गया, फोड़ो फोड़ो खत्म करो। So sorry about that, but that's, see, I'll tell you what, I'm just mentioning it as a joke, but that's the feeling कि यार, this is not okay. You can't take civilians as prisoners. This is not okay.
Babies, Adi, babies.
You can't,
Babies, a 6 month old baby
it's not.
taking
It's just,
bodies of killed civilians and soldiers. खून खोलता है जब we have seen the videos of them kicking the broken bodies that, and I want to just say, Shani Luke, if you
oh,
remember the girl, 22 years old, she was on that pickup truck
truck.
with these five bastards who were around her
इसको
when all the Aza was
इसको
spitting on her.
पता नहीं
Her
कितने कितने
body was brought back last Friday by our soldiers. So she got her burial. Her father broke down and he thanked the soldiers and he said, "Thank you, but even don't endanger yourself." But you know, there's, as I told you, there's a contract in each and other Israeli, within the Israeli and Jewish people. We will die even to bring your body back to be buried. So we are
That's
happy, and I want to tell my Indian brothers and sisters for their prayers, because Shani Luke was a symbol of that barbaric cult in Gaza. She was brought back for burial.
yeah.
Thank you for your prayers.
Soham, thank you so much once again, sir. Is this a property dispute or a war between w- property dispute war or a war between children lineage of two wives of Abraham? As a non-Abrahamic person, this is so confusing.
Soham,
Ah,
learn about Judaism
yeah.
first of all, because only two religions. I think Buddhism, I'm not sure, but I will speak about what I know. Hinduism and Judaism doesn't have a concept of missionaries. Okay, so what is happening with the other part of these religions, Islam and Christianity? It always comes on the Jews. We are to blame, and if not, then Hindus.
Adinaji, thank you so much. Gabe, what is expected on the Hezbollah front?
Great question. Adinath, we are like, if it would have been up to me, and good, I didn't predict it 1 month ago with Adi, that soon there's going to be a war with Hezbollah. But it's like anytime it can erupt, it can erupt. It has not happened yet because what is happening in between us are blows. We are just exchanging blows with them, but soon we'll have to take a decision, a tough decision. And as I told you in my last video with Adi, September, Israeli children will be at home. Sorry, June. From June, July, that is the time to watch out because that will be a time when children are at home and war can erupt. अभी मैंने बोल दिया है, मैंने गलती की है, मुझे पता नहीं, मगर उनको भी पता है कि ये कभी भी भड़क सकता है हम दोनों में.
Rameshji, thank you so much. Partition of India or liberation of Bangladesh didn't resolve 1,000 years conflict continues. Can Palestine resolve? No.
Never,
No, 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 no.
never. History has shown one thing: learn from each other. As I've always said in my videos with Adi, history has shown that when it doesn't work, it will not work again. It is futile to try and try something which will never happen. The Palestinians will never give up their hope of seeing the Jews in the sea. That is the one and only wish. Till they have that wish, there will be no peace. No peace. We will have to live by the sword and need be die by the sword.
That's true. Objective, different views. Thank you so much for your contribution. Prakhar Shivasavaji, thank you so much. Gabriel sir, what is the recent development of Al Qasim Brigade? They claim to have an Israeli officer.
No, false news. Because thank you for asking this question. Because many people in India who are against Israel and watching the channels, it's entertainment for me. Sometimes it's laughable, but I watch these channels, and they are just spewing this lie that Israeli soldier has been captured by Al Qassam Brigade, nothing doing. And you know what is the proof? In Israel, any time a soldier has been captured or God forbid killed, it will be shown on national news and in all outlets because this is what the respect we have to give to each and every soldier. If he has died, the family will always say why we are not giving respect to our brother or our son. Like my brother who was killed, if God forbid it would have been like that, we like Pakistanis in Kargil not showing who the soldiers belong to, Israel would not have been in existence today. So, good question. No such soldier has been captured by Al Qassam Brigade, and this is false news. That shows as they fired rockets on Tel Aviv, they are feeling the noose around their neck.
Prakharji, thank you so much. Gabriel sir, what in the recent
No,
development?
the same
Okay, I
question.
think, sorry, this one I have taken. Sorry, I clicked the wrong one. Sohamji, thank you so much, sir. It's human rights or only Ummah rights? So sad. Let me say one thing, Soham, if you don't mind, and politely I'm saying this, ask the protesters in the universities. They'll give you a better answer than me and Gabriel, because they are the real holders of human rights, not us. We are just two right-wing maniacs who are sitting here टॉकिंग अदरवाइज वो प्रोटेस्टर्स जो है ना वो जो स्पेशली कोलंबिया यूनिवर्सिटी में इनमें है उनके पास ज्यादा थोड़ा नॉलेज रहता है इन चीजों के बारे में
आदि उनको पता नहीं कौन मर्द है कौन औरत है, ह्यूमन उनको क्या पता चलेगा?
तभी तो बोल रहा हूँ
हजार जेंडर्स है उनके पास.
AJ, thank you so much. Little out of context, Sudhir Mishra, Brahmos episode. Yeah, well, this kind of nonsense will continue. यार ये जो honey trapping and this and that. Come on. As you grow higher, but remember one thing: as people get caught, remember one big thing that your counterintelligence is working. ठीक है? That is the most important thing. If people are not getting caught, your eyebrows should be up and should be wondering what in the world is happening in your country. Frustrated commoner, thank you so much, says for Russia, Iran is a tactical need of the hour. Influential Jews in Russia are not going to sit back. Also, Israel resisted giving arms to Ukraine. Good luck.
You're right. You're right. We didn't take
Okay, our
sides in between in that war.
last few questions. Arpalji, thank you so much. Banu Kunzaya, and this is you write
1,000 year
cryptic.
old conflict. Yes, as I told you, it's a religious conflict
Yeah.
from ancient times.
Ramesh ji, Ishwar Allah Tero
For Allah.
Namaste. Only for Hindus, still the mosque, since the same Gandhi struggle remains unfulfilled. It should remain unfulfilled. Sachin Saab, thank you so much for your contribution. Shashi Prakash ji, thank you so much. Says Gabriel, how Hindus can contribute rupees or dollars to Israel?
Last time also, Shashi, this question was asked. Thank God everything is fine economically in Israel. But if you we need your prayers. So donate this money for a needy person who is hungry and tell him to bless Israel. Ask him to bless Israel. Sorry. Ask him to bless Israel. It is enough.
Prakhar ji, thank you so much. What is your assessment of recent events in Iran? I think we've discussed this with regards to Raisi's helicopter. Uh, GN Tatsaji, thank you so much. Says, Brother Gabriel, kindly give me your personal email address. Evil has a perfect antidote. Annihilation underscore Bhagavad Gita.
If anyone wants to get to me, only through Adi, because being from the security forces, I am not allowed to exchange my email or my details with anyone, especially online. So only through Adi, and if Adi sees that it's all right, then I can
So my email
return my
address is
answer.
at the bottom. You can write to me, sir. It's not a problem. We'll take two more comments. Zesh says ICC prosecutor Karim Khan seeks arrest warrant to Israeli PM and Hamas in will it have any impact on Israel PM and Netanyahu and Trump's statement on hostages may not be alive? I think let's talk about. I wanted to ask you about the Trump statement on the hostages. What do you guys think?
Just remind me, what was his statement, Adi? Trump?
He
Because
said
now
nothing. Nobody is alive.
you can't keep track.
Nobody will be alive.
See, there are a few hostages who are alive because Sinwar needs them around him and that Muhammad Deif. We will have to pay a huge price for them. But in Israel, we have like we are not agreeing on one thing here. What is the first aim? Release of hostages or finish of Hamas? If you ask me, I say finish of Hamas because if you come to destroying Hamas, you will reach the hostages also. Dead or alive, it will be. See, we are not naive. They will kill them. When Gilad Shalit, 7 or 6 years ago, when he was captured by Hamas, I was in the services. We knew the place where he was held a few times, but we could not make a hostage rescue because we knew at least three terrorists are surrounding him with suicide vests.
Jagpreet ji, Badra ji, Sat Sri Akal, I hope you're well, sir. Yesterday, there were huge protests in Israel. Please enlighten us about it.
My favorite Jakpreet Batra. Yesterday, it's like the same thing which has happened in Shaheen Bagh or in any other farmer protests in India. It happens in Tel Aviv, which is a liberal city. दो तीन टायर को जलाया, a few thousand came out, and the media starts shouting that it's Israel is on fire. There are families of hostages who are rightly saying stop even the war, but protests are being held. But the main reason for protest in Israel, they want to topple the government of Netanyahu. That's the aim.
Yeah. Ranga Rangna Rocks ji, thank you for this very interesting question. He says Israel could have plenty of casualties if they didn't have the Iron Dome. ICJ is penalizing Israel for being incompetent. This is something I've been saying. A lot of people talk about the proportionality of this war. Israel got killed 1,300 some people. They should have gone and killed 13,000, and the war should have been over. The amount of rockets that have come into Israel, if all of them have fallen into Israel, there would have been 100,000 dead. So, by that logic of proportionality, Israel has about 60,000 people way to go right now in Gaza. So,
People like
this is a stupid
Ragnarok,
logic. It's
people like him are ones who can change the narrative anytime.
yeah, yeah. This is
These
what I'm.
guys,
See, it's such a beautiful question.
people like him who know geopolitics, who know history, who know the conflict, and then they give the 2 cents instead of these Antifa and all these bullshitters in the campuses who are like the elites.
Yeah.
Boss, I will anytime take you on my side instead of these guys.
Why has Norway and England, Ireland, and Spain recently announced its decision to formally recognize Palestinian statehood based on the pre 1967 borders? Go first. I have a small little
Yes,
intervention later.
tomorrow they will also recognize Narnia and Wakanda. Okay, doesn't care. It doesn't make a dent in our armor,
It's called
but
appeasement.
appeasement. But see, Israel, we always know from experience this can get momentum. Other nations will start jumping on this wagon, and it can create problems in the future for us. So, Norway, Ireland, and Spain, good luck with the refugees. If they want, we will ship Palestinian refugees to their nations. Please take them. Please look after them. Best of luck.
It's politics to my mind. It's basically just they're trying to position in for the final game, right? So some Western countries come and recognize Palestine as a this thing. Then okay, then Palestinians, Hamas, this that will take one step. This is a weird way of negotiation, which is a typical Western way of negotiation. अगर ट्रम्प कर रहा होता इस चीज को, I would have been a little more, kind of
Yes.
said, okay, fine, there's something happening here. This guy is not that competent, right? So I'd rather say that both the wars should go on till about December,
See, the
right?
Israeli
Because
army has said we need till October to finish off even lower Gaza, then sanitize, then hold on.
yeah,
मगर बात क्या हो रही है डे आफ्टर अरे
yeah,
आज का दिन देखो आज देखो विक्ट्री फर्स्ट एंड देन डे आफ्टर
yeah, yeah. Is India a signatory to the ICJ? Yes, and that's why we send a judge. But
नो
how far you will accept it is a totally different story. Secondly, India has certain disputes with other countries within the ICJ. For example, Pakistan in the Indus water. Need I say more?
मिस्टर
So you got a
चक्रवर्ती BB and our defense minister Galan can come to two nations after that warrant USA and India because both are there not assigned to this ICC
no, we've signed in, but we're not going to accept it.
ICC
Yeah. ICJ, we are a member of it. We have cases running there, by the way.
ICC
Arbitration. ICC nahi.
the warrants are being warrants are coming up from ICC not from ICJ or is on Rafah.
Bump. That's all I can say. Colonel TL Behel, sir, he says, sir, can someone tell the Honorable Raisi's body was intact and others were mutilated? This is a riddle that has to be answered.
Salute to you, Sir Colonel. Good question. Only an army man can have this depth of thought. What was the position of the body?
It was upside
It
down.
speaks volumes.
It was upside down.
We cannot be surprised if there was a bullet hole here at the back of the head.
That's what I'm saying. There's something weird about it. Information is too little. Missions ran by the IDF in the tunnels are SAR or SAD. I would say both, right? Search and destroy and search and rescue.
Rescue. First of all, it's a search and rescue. That's why we send in soldiers in harm's way.
Hmm.
Search and destroy is much easier. Destroy it. But as I told you, even they have buried in the tunnels, we have bodies buried there of Israeli hostages. So you're right. We have these, but SAD as search and destroy is preferable in the end. Yeah,
Anonymous, have you seen that all the ancient nations are targeted? Parsis are
Parties
stateless,
are
Hindus
stateless.
and Jews are on the hit list, and I wouldn't say only Muslims and Christians in the West are no less. So, देखिए civilizations are the ones that can actually break these little 300-year-old, 400-year-old systems that have come up. For us, 400 years is hardly not even a blink of an eye for a civilization that's talking about 70, 80,000 years old. It's not even a blink of an eye, yaar. क्या है 300 500 600 साल nothing. So that's how it is. They get scared of civilization. Look what the Chinese did when the CCP did the first thing in China. They broke the civilization. So people in
As you
China
pointed out,
believe what is
Adi,
being, yeah.
as you pointed out, why are they targeting? As Anonymous has asked, why they're targeting? Why these civilizations have survived? First of all, so many years because of principles, family values, education, and then comes this woke guys who
Mm,
want to destroy the foundations of these civilizations.
yeah, absolutely. Joshua Chime
אתה שומע
says,
אותי אחי גבריאל, ישוע חיים, אני שומע אותך. Are you hearing me, brother Gabriel? I hear you loud and clear.
okay, I don't know where he's from, but I thought let me just take this up. And of course, Rakesh Bhandari ji, thank you so much for the contribution. Sabji, that is the end for the day. There's so many other questions as well, but I think we've got what 1 hour and 16 minutes already in the show. आपके साथ हमेशा लंबा चौड़ा डिस्कशन होता है, and people really really enjoy talking to you. So that's why we keep bringing you back, and of course, getting a realistic sort of a on ground sort of analysis which is taking place. So thank you so much for that, for sharing your views and being a part of this channel, and we shall see you the next time. And guys, like, subscribe, please do like, leave a comment before you sign off for the night. Thank you so much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, and
Thank you
Shalom.
everyone for the support. Thank you. Thank you, Adi.